Look at all those markers. Those glorious markers. What's up, fellow troublemakers? Welcome back to Jaja Draws. I don't know, y'all. I had such a good time last time that I did a coloring page with markers that I decided to do it again. Um, you know, sometimes you just stressed out and you just need to relax. Plus, I actually had decided that this might be a good image to practice my shading on. I've been watching a lot of ADC Art Attacks videos. I've been paying attention to the depths of his shadows, and I've been looking at some comic pages and paying attention to sort of what gets shadowed and what doesn't. So there were some things that, as I went through this, I thought I did a decent job on, and there were some things that maybe didn't turn out so well. So I'm going to try and be fair about both of those things, because it's not fun when people can't face their mistakes, but it also kind of sucks when all they ever do is complain about how terrible they are. So let's start with the one major thing that I actually thought was a problem with this. And this isn't actually my fault. This is just a reality. The markers bled a ton. So if you remember when I did the stitch drawing, this is on the exact same paper. This is just the paper that I have for my printer. I had said that they blended together really well, and that I thought that was probably because they were bleeding, but that I wasn't having a problem with it because the outlines were so thick. But for this printed sheet, the outlines are much narrower. I mean, there's some weight to them in various places, but overall they have a much thinner outline, and that meant that I could really see the bleed and the spread around the edge of the image. So again, not my fault, and certainly not so bad that it made me hate the process. I still really enjoyed doing this. It was super soothing, but yeah, it was quite a lot. So to offset that, I will tell you something that I was really pleased with was how her legs came out. Now, some of you may be surprised that I am coloring her in pants. I have a thing about the fact that we draw superhero ladies in leotards. I just wish we didn't. It seems ridiculous to me. Like, what self-respecting individual is going to go out and fight crime in something that's basically really thick underwear? I don't know why you would do that. Like, protect your skin. Put on some freaking pants. Anyway, so when I got this image, even though she was wearing, the traditional underoos that Wonder Woman normally wears, I immediately knew that I would be coloring her with full pants on. And that I thought turned out really well, because the shadows in the crease of her leg kind of blend everything away, and it's not super obvious that it was originally intended to be underoos. But the thing that I really liked about it was that I'm really pleased with how the highlights and shadows turned out on her legs. I'm not completely done with it yet. I do go in and do a color pencil pass at the end, and that actually makes it even better in my opinion. But just for once, I wasn't scared of really deep shadows, and I just went for it, and I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I think this was a good step in the right direction. Here's the thing that I'm a little bit neutral about. I did look at some reference images. I did look specifically at images of Wonder Woman, and I noticed that a thing that they do in the comics a lot is that for her red, they give it a yellow highlight as opposed to like a white highlight or something. So I chose yellow as one of the colors, and it's in fact the undertone I used all over her, anything of hers that was red. But I did feel like either I went heavy shadow too much on her bustier, or like Or maybe I needed an even darker color for the shadow. So I liked how the highlights turned out because I thought the yellow was good. But I guess I feel like I should have gone for an even darker red. I don't know what because whatever it's called, old red or something like that, is I think the darkest red I have. But I could have gone brown, I guess. I could have gone with like a reddish brown. And I didn't. So I feel like that I could have done better. But again, I feel like this is progress, and I'm pleased I'm making progress. I don't remember where I was told this, but I was told at one point that if you wanted gold to look realistic, to throw some green in there. So I tried that, um, and I will tell you that as of last night, I kind of hated it. Like it wasn't working for me, which I put down entirely to my own lack of skill. But as of today, I actually think it kind of works. And I don't know if that's because I'm looking at it in different lighting now, or if it has something to do with the fact that the color has mellowed a bit since I first laid it on there. I honestly don't know. But whatever it was, I think it worked out okay in the end. Although, as I was putting it on there, I was like, why am I putting green on my gold? And I kind of hated it. But yeah, it was all right in the end. For her hair, I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't quite a deep dark black. I wanted it to be a brown black. So I did go under with what I wanted to be the highlight color, but it ended up um, not being dark enough. Uh, Often I just highlight with white, but this was it was making it look like she had white streaks in her hair instead of like she that was where the hair was catching the sun. Um, but yeah, I went in with brown over almost everything first. Just a nice rich brown. And then I went in with a brown black. I think it's like YR95 in the Ohuhu set. Um, it's super, super dark. You only realize it's not black if you're actually looking at it next to black. But yeah, I really liked the effect that gave with the rich brown underneath it. Um, and I really liked the way that let me pick out sort of lighter sections, but give her a look that was overall very, very dark, the way I feel like Diana's hair should be. So I think the thing that I'm most ambivalent about, um, that was my choice as opposed to just, like markers bleeding on paper and I can't control that, is her skin. Um, I was really pleased with how her skin was turning out. And then I wanted to go in with bold shadows. Like that was part of what I was practicing here. So I did. And then I just thought she looked angry. And I was not trying to make her look angry. I really just wanted to make sure that I was emphasizing her features and giving her some facial definition. Um, but yeah, like her brows look ominous once I get those shadows in there. So I also feel like particularly along her, I guess that's her right arm. I didn't do as good a job blending the shadows out. I mean, I think it's okay to have a clearly defined shadow, but I think it's important to know where that clearly defined shadow should go. Like, pick why it's a clearly defined shadow and then define it clearly based on that criteria. And instead I was just kind of like, I think the underside is shaded like this. Yeah, so that wasn't my most shining moment. But that's all right. That's all right. We got to forgive ourselves and move on. And next time I'll know what to do better. So here we are, and I am about to put the colored pencils on. I turned the camera off because I was putting in the yellow radiating background, and honestly I thought that would be super dull to watch, and I don't regret turning the camera off for that because I think it probably was super dull to watch. But I do regret turning the camera off and not capturing the rocks. You guys, I don't know how to say this. I think the rocks are my favorite part of this coloring attempt. Like, honestly, that and the pants are my freaking favorite because the rocks turned out so good. The pictures are not doing it justice, but I'm going to give you a close-up in just a second when I roll the beauty shots to give you a chance to look at it. Because seriously, I was so proud with how those rocks turned out. So here is my Wonder Woman, and I do like her. Here are the amazing rocks she's standing on. Honestly, they look so good. And here are her fantabulous pants where I finally committed to shading and wasn't afraid of it. So, here's your evil trifecta. Like if you like Wonder Woman and think she is a fantastic role model. Subscribe if you want to see me do more crazy stuff and babble on about it. And leave a comment below and tell me what your favorite character is, because I think I'm probably going to do more of these because they're so much fun, and I'd be happy to color other people's favorite characters. Bye! Thanks for watching.